Okay, let's see. Sure.
Are we on?
You're on.
All right. Well, I'm trying to find us here. Hey, everybody, it's me. I'm here, Uncle Robbie here with my beautiful, talented, and lovely co-host, Miss Andy West. Say hello, darling.
Hi, how's it going?
All right, and we're back here on Media Blackout Live. Of course, oh, here we are, the Limp stimulus. Okay, so I'm clicking on, I got my laptop here. I'm actually, I can't even see myself on YouTube right now. And there is probably, how much of a delay are we working on tonight?
Like 30 seconds. I wouldn't watch it. I would go ahead and not watch it as it loads up.
Well, I'm keeping it.
I'm actually, I can't even see myself on YouTube right now.
Okay, good.
There is probably, how much of a delay are we?
Okay. So, yeah, we got a couple of seconds here. But I'm going to watch the live chat because last week, my friend Richard Autorino, one of my, yay, Richard, he came on and he was, he's like, hey, Uncle Robbie. And I didn't even see him there. I would like started talking to him. But so everybody, if you type into the chat, okay, is the chat going to come up automatically or is that also on like a 30-second delay?
It's on the delay, I'm sure.
Okay, so what?
If we don't, let me test it real quick.
Okay,
let me test it.
All right, type something into chat and see what comes up.
Okay, I did. So let's see if how long it takes.
Okay, it said it was me saying hi. Okay, it just came up.
It's because I'm logged in as you on this end, yeah.
Right. Okay. So yeah, it came up as soon as you hit the enter button, I guess. So cool. the chat will come up, immediately, but it'll come up like 30 seconds after we're whatever we're talking about. So just let us know what we were talking about because 30, with our attention deficit disorder.
Yeah. 30 seconds is way too long.
That's an eternity. I
forgot what we're talking about anyways.
Right. Well, what we're talking about really is tonight is the whole stimulus thing. And you brought up some really valid points. I mean, we've been text back and forth all day long about various things. Some things probably we're not going to talk about because they're not really relevant. But the stimulus, now the points you brought up, okay, who's getting the stimulus money? How are they getting the stimulus money?
Who's getting the SBA loans? Who's getting the SBA loans? Who's getting disaster relief loans? Because I mean, I've got not just the stimulus ones, which I don't expect to ever show up, but for the personal ones. But I mean, the business ones, all the money that they put aside for businesses for keeping people on your payroll. That's as of Tuesday. New Mexico Bank and Trust had no idea. They had not received any of the final paperwork, and they were just going to try and give out loans and hopefully get it and retroactively get those things forgiven. But they didn't have any actual information about them because it hadn't come out yet. But according to the government, on Monday they spent it all. So it's like, that's who did they give it to? Did they give it to just subsidiaries of large corporations, which is probably the case. This is a small business. It's IBM too, So because they didn't give it to anybody. They didn't give it to anyone that was looking for any small businesses. Because I was trying for days to get on there, and apply for something, and no, nothing. So yeah, it's, where did the money go? What did they spend it on?
Hi.
Hey, Ginger's back. How you doing, Ginger?
All right. Sorry, it took me a second.
That's all right. Relax, have a smoke. It's all good. So so nobody knows where the money went, where it's going, where. I want to know where's it coming from. With everybody in the country out of work, okay. Well, I want to know. There's no tax dollars going into the government at this point. Okay.
Do you believe that we have a zero-sum economy for some reason? The tax dollars offset spending, because we don't have that at all. We have what is known as we have a fiat currency where the Fed and most of our currency comes into place at the retail bank level. Every time a loan goes out, with fractional reserve banking, all they have to do is keep 10% of reserve on hand, and they can. So if you give the bank $100,000, they can loan out $1 million that day. Well, where does that $900,000 come from? They created in that moment. Basically, they just generate it in their own computer screens. That's where most of our currency comes from. The rest of it, the Fed does the same thing. We don't live in a zero-sum economy. Our tax dollars are just deleted off of our records. That's all. When we spend them in, they just go, okay, here's a total, delete. That's it. Our tax dollars don't offset any spending whatsoever. This is modern monetary theory, and it's solid. It's what we've been using. That's why they always have enough money to go, oh, we're going to need $2 trillion for this quick war. And how they can give away, like I said, $29 trillion in the last 6 months is what the Fed's dumped into the stock market. They're just making the money up. If we had a zero-sum economy where every dollar was offset, our inflation would be insane. Same thing we covered last week. So that's the problem. They don't have to come up with anything.
I completely agree. I completely agree with you. Of course, this country has been living on its credit card for way too long. Anyway, I mean, what was the national debt? $14 trillion. And it's like we're 14 trillion in the hole. They did another 6 trillion. By this time this whole thing is over, we're going to be 100 trillion in the hole. Okay, I mean that's
if you look at the derivatives and swaps, we're more than that. Yeah,
right. So I mean, how is this ever going to get paid off? I think what we really
who do we owe the money to? That's the thing. Who do we owe the money to?
Well, China, a lot of it.
No. Okay, not really. Basically, the global markets, the global oil markets, when I do use the dollar, so that it keeps our fiat money seeming more real, but it's still not zero sum. The extra money, the higher the deficit the government runs, the more money that just means it's in circulation for the people. So like if they go up to 100 trillion, that means there's 100 trillion out there. Now, if nobody has any money, find out who's hoarding it all. That's the key. But wasn't
the dollar created as to be a promissory note on the value of gold to begin with?
Initially, yes. But then there's a book called The Monster from Jekyll Island, which covers how our modern day central banking fractional reserve system was designed. And it was built by a bunch of bankers who went, how do we totally profit for the rest of our lives off this shit? And they do profit because they charge you 20% interest compounded yearly for a loan that they're making up 90% of the money on. That's literally what they're doing. So all the money comes back to them. They don't ever put that money back. They don't delete that money from the existing currency. That's just all profit for them. And then banks they go bankrupt. I don't see how. But yeah, this is the system. And it was once the Monster from Jekyll Island was in the 30s that they put together, they got together, made the Fed, made the central bank, made all that, and put it all together the way it is now. And it is just one huge Ponzi scheme, one huge grift. That's all it is.
Yeah, well,
they're not backed by anything.
That's exactly what it is. It's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
And the U.S. government is perpetrating, or the World Bank or whoever it is, Federal Reserve. I have no idea.
They're all of them together. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all in cahoots. They're perpetrating the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history of not just this planet, but probably the universe. Because I think if there is intelligent life out there, they wouldn't do this.
Fall for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, I was watching.
The fact that they can't just make up an infinite amount of money and give it to corporations means they could do the same for us. Who is it? I'm trying to remember the investor. There's a hedge fund manager. They actually said, "Why don't you just give every American $500,000? That'll get us through this." And he's right. It would.
Yeah. No shit.
No shit. I really wish they would do that. $500,000. I could use $500,000 right now. I'd get the fuck out of upstate New York.
Shit, $500,000. I'd be sitting fat in a house. I'd have my own car. I definitely have my daughter living with me again. Yeah, $500,000 would be really fucking nice right now.
I'd be in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, right? Well,
I'd have dug out the side of the mountain that my family owns in North Carolina, and I would have my house underground in the mountain, like
smart move.
Away from people. Yeah.
That's actually a good idea because the temperature underground is always roughly about 55 degrees. So you would.
Well, yeah, it's cool in the summertime, warm in the wintertime.
Not that warm, but you could in the wintertime you could heat the whole place with like one little yodel pellet log stove. And I've actually, there is a house around here where they've done that, and they heated the whole house with like one little log stove. And the guy said, yeah, I burn a 6 a 6-inch diameter, 14-inch log twice a day, and he heated the whole house with 2 little logs like that. So I think that's a good idea, Ginger. But then, of course, what you want to do is have at least 2 years of survival rations and a well-stocked gun cabinet.
Well, most definitely. If I'm going to go live in the woods, underground, this whole apocalypse thing that's imminent, like it's happening soon. Yeah, that's where I want to be. I want to be in the middle of the woods, away from everybody, because being in this apartment complex where I'm at, sure the fuck ain't the business.
No, I'm completely indefensible here too. I've got the North Channel of Arroyo, like well within kill range for a sniper, just off the left-hand side of my apartment. Yeah, so it's
Well, the other thing is you guys are in the middle of the goddamn desert. So once they shut off the power, where's your water coming from? That is also a thing that I worry about. And the fact that you were both unarmed, I would say, well, if you were, I'd say get in your vehicles and then fight your way here to New York. I mean, I live next to a lake, so I'm not really worried.
I've got 180 acres on the side of the French Broad River in Asheville, North Carolina, so I'm good.
Well, if that's true, Ginger, then I'm going to load all my vital equipment, which just means rifles and ammunition, into the back of my truck with 100 gallons of gasoline to get there, because my truck can go about 250 miles on about 30 gallons of gas. I'm
sure my dad would love to have the company.
Right? Well, we'd fit right in, and we could trap possum and crap like that. We just have to have Andy cook them up and figure out,
I can do roadkill, yeah.
So anyway,
squirrel and dumplings is pretty good. I've had squirrel and dumplings and barbecued rabbit.
Yeah, well, did I tell you I was just out back visiting my rabbit cages. I still have my rabbit cages behind my house. I had rabbits for a while, and I gotta tell you, if you don't eat them by the time they're like 8 weeks old, it's like chewing on shoe leather. They get a little tough. So the older rabbits, when they're younger, 6 weeks old or whatever, they call them fryers. Okay. When they're older, they call them roasters. Now, believe me, you don't want to roast these things. What you want to do with an older rabbit is you want to like marinate it in something with like tons of vinegar, or milk.
That's the reason I had barbecued rabbit.
Well, barbecued rabbit, like an older rabbit, you wouldn't want to barbecue it because it just like kill the thing and chuck it on the barbecue. It would be like eating an old army boot.
Barbecue means slow cooking. Barbecue means slow cooking.
Yeah, it was like they roasted it on a spit, and then it was marinated, roasted, and covered in barbecue sauce because I wasn't going to eat it.
Well, I don't know. You might want to soak it in some milk because I hear the enzymes in the milk break down into the rabbit meat and actually tenderize it. So anyway, we're getting off subject.
That's to bash the hell out of it too.
Yeah. Beat. Well, rabbit's pretty hard to pulverize because
you gotta make sure it doesn't have werbles in it, because the werbles are the little worms that get in their ear and get in their brain, and that, like, I don't know what it does to the meat, but I know that you can't eat a rabbit if it's got a werble in its ear.
Maybe it can't get you because it's got Wi-Fi.
It's got a werble. Oh my God, we've got werbles. Your rabbits.
Werbles wobble, but they don't fall down, man.
Right, exactly.
No, that's a weevil.
So I talked to my son this afternoon. I went out today. I just to get out of the house because I haven't left the house. Well, I went out the other day because I had to go to the tractor place because I'm buying a rototiller and I'm gonna garden. And I was talking to Andy before about, hey, I will help people feed themselves. I'll till up there. The hardest part about gardening is breaking up the ground. Okay, regardless, breaking up the ground, if you got to do it by hand, it's backbreaking, impossible work. If you're doing it with the shovel,
depends on where you live, because if the ground is soft, if the soil is soft and it's nutrient soil, like where I grew up at in North Carolina, like the soil's soft and it's not too hard to break up unless it's in the red clay mud, and then that's a pain in the ass.
Even here, the ground right at this time of year is soaking wet, but I would not want to be out there with a hand shovel trying to till 2 acres of ground. So
fuck that.
Right. So once you put this machine on it gives you a nice big fluffy 8-inch piece of dirt.
Yeah, it makes rows.
Right. Well, you can make rows. You can do whatever. You can just make a whole field if you want. Depends what you do. I mean, this thing is 4 feet wide. And it attaches to the back of the tractor. And you kind of just, what I'm going to do is actually do a 4-foot path. Then I'm just going to have grass. I'm just going to mow the lawn for 4 feet because that's how big the lawnmower is. So I have some place I can drive down, you know, so if I'm picking corn, I can just pick it and throw it into the bucket of the tractor on the front of it. But anyway, you know, I went out the other day to do that. I went and saw my friend John. I was going to the grocery store, but there was just so many people there that I actually got scared. And I mean, the parking lot of the grocery store was full. And I was like, I just don't want to be around this many people. And I had my spray foam insulation mask. I just was like, yeah, if I walk in wearing this, you know, but people are going to look at me funny. Or if I wear like you know, if I wear this one, you know, military grade, they might even call the cops. Although at this point, I don't think they would, because everybody's that way. And I'm actually, next time I do go, I am going to wear this mask just to see what kind of reaction I get. But I went and I didn't go into the store. I just said, screw this, you know. So I went out today because I had to get butter for my, you know, tincture, or for my, process.
Magic butter, yeah.
Yes, my magical butter, we can say it. You know, I went to the store today and I got, you know, my bag of, you know how I like the little mandarin oranges or the clementines. I always get a bag of them. I got a bag of apples because I like making my oatmeal with apple and cinnamon. I mean, I could live on oatmeal with apple and cinnamon. And really, it's one of the only things that doesn't give me, you know, complete indigestion because of the hiatal hernia and stuff like that. You know, I got a couple of other things. It's, you know, I got some sausage because I'm going to make I got like 6 packages of sausage. Well, I'm going to make a huge pot of.
You don't have to go over your whole shopping list. I mean, honestly.
I have to go over
you don't have to.
But
you don't have to. Over your whole shopping list?
Yeah, well, anyway, so what I'm saying is, people, it was so funny. They put tape, like blue painter's tape, arrows. So when you go down an aisle, you have to go a certain way. Well, there was this old dude. All I wanted was like a can of like the 4C iced tea powder mix. And this guy was standing there across the aisle from it was all this like, the celestial teas. So he's got a clipboard with his shopping list. He's got his mess. And I'm like, dude, could you put your cart on one side of the aisle or the other side of the aisle? This way I can just like walk past you really quickly. Don't stay in the middle of the fucking aisle. But I stood there patiently. I'm like, okay, we're all in this together. You know, I don't want to, you know, be a dick about this because it really does suck. And I'm sure it sucks for this guy. And I don't know his story. He's probably shopping for his wife if he's buying friggin' celestial tea. Yeah. You know, he's an older dude. But this other guy walked in with this same type of respirator. I have my respirator. If it's in here, here. This is my insulation respirator. Can you see that? It's still got spray foam insulation on it, but he had one that's just the face piece. It doesn't have the full face cover on it, but his had the 2 filters, and I was like, that's a smart ass motherfucker right there. And he was wearing like the green wool coat, you know, buttoned up, and he had the camouflage pants on, tucked into like combat boots. I was like, I don't know who this dude is, but I want him on my freaking team because you know that dude. When he goes home, he's got a big rack full of guns and probably a garage full of ammo. And I'm like, dude, we need to be on the same side here. So anyway, I went and I wanted to get something to eat. So I got like the new double Big Mac at McDonald's just because I'm sick and tired of
food.
Like, well, no, sitting in my house, I was like, and I mean, really, I wanted to get something good, but like the good restaurants, you can't walk in. And even the cigarette store, there's a sign on the door. It says, don't come in, call us. So what you do is you phone in your order with your credit card, and then they come out and they hand it to you into your car.
Drug dealer style, yeah.
That's exactly what it felt like. It was like crack dealer shit, you know? Like I
got yelled at Walmart the other day. I went to go get groceries, and the security guard yelled at me for not wearing a mask.
Really?
Yeah. And then yesterday I went to go get a few things that I wasn't able to get the day before, and that place was packed yesterday. Like, it was crazy over there. And everybody, it's like a madhouse. They've got tape on the aisles for where you go down one aisle one direction, and you have to go the other way, the other direction to go out. And like, people are confused. They're like, there's no clear like markings or like to tell them which way to go, and so everybody's confused. And then people are getting all like, I don't know, on the potential for violence because of people not wearing masks, people being on the same aisle, you not being 6 feet with each other. Like, it's crazy right now.
No, yeah.
While I was there, my son, I left my phone in the car. I came back out, and my son's like, "Call me as soon as you get this." And I was like, "Okay, what's wrong?" And he was like, he says, "Remember, I had to go to the health center because him and his buddy, they had the flu, but they said they had to go to the health center to get tested before they could go back to work." My son, he works at a Petco, and his buddy is the manager at a Petco, and his other roommate is an older guy, and he's like the super, the top manager, like he's the station chief or whatever you call it when you're working for Petco, and they're working 13 hours a day from the time, before the place opens till when it closes, because I guess it's open from like 9 till 9. So he's there all day long, and there's only 5 people left working. They had 17 people, staff working there, and a bunch were college kids. Like I think 75% of them were like college kids. So they all said, "Oh, we're going home." So they all went, because it's up in Burlington, Vermont. He's up in Burlington, Vermont, and there's a big, University of Vermont. It's very, very liberal school. But they all decided, okay, we're taking off. We're going home, and the other people said, "Oh, we don't." They chickened out, I guess. They said, "We don't want to take a chance of getting this thing." So it's now my son, his 2 roommates, and like 2 other people running this whole store. Okay. And I said, "Well, how busy could it be?" And he says it's super busy because they're considered, what is it? Essential, because they sell pet food. And he's like, "These stupid people are coming in buying pets during this, people coming in buying fish."
Oh yeah. People here are going crazy with puppies, and like they're going to get a pet because, they're at work all the time. They can't take care of their animals. And then now they're at home. So they're going to get an animal that they're going to get rid of as soon as everything goes back to the way it was before.
Straight
and
up,
they have to go back to work. Those poor animals are going to be without homes, and it's stupid.
Yeah, they're gonna dump on the Humane Society the moment it's done. The moment that this is over with, or just let they're getting big dogs in small apartments, things like that. Yeah.
Well, that's what I said to him. I was like, "Look, people are looking for companionship and therapy animals." And I basically told him, I've been training for this for like the last 2 years since my parents moved to Tennessee. I really don't have a reason to leave the house unless I have a show or rehearsal, And since my kid moved away, I used to go hang out with him every other day. I'd pick him up, take him, to cash his paycheck or whatever, go out, go shopping, hang out, drive to Albany, get a haircut, whatever. So I don't have him or my parents. So, and there's no rehearsal. All my gigs are canceled for the foreseeable future. So I really don't have a reason to leave the house anymore at all. And now this thing springs up. So I'm just like, okay, just another day at the office, which, is me sitting in my house watching YouTube, or Pornhub or what have you, Chatterbait. So and the
Pornhub went to Stay Home Hub. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Did you see when they changed their logo and everything? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chatterbait, it says "Stay Home" and Chatterbait. And, it's just, it's really weird. Ever since I started following cam girls, I just wanted to see how it worked, because I was watching Sienna Grace's live streams all the time, and I'd never watched like a porno live stream, So some of the girls are really funny on there. Like there's this one girl, she's great. She sits there and she plays she shreds on the 7-string guitar. Just shreds. And then her boyfriend comes home, and he talks some shit, and then once they start screwing, I just say, okay, I had enough. I don't even want to watch that. I don't want to watch this old dude bang this pretty little blonde girl, and I just turn it off. It's like, I'll either go watch YouTube or I'll go watch another cam girl. Once they get into the bait part of the chatter thing, then it's like, I just automatically lose interest, and I don't know why it is. Am I wrong? So the thing I noticed is the girls who were working out of studios aren't online. Most of them haven't been online, and there was quite a few because how you add your favorite ones to favorites, and when they come on.
I've worked for those companies, but I've never actually.
You never actually watched. See, you were on the other side of the camera, So anyway, so there's like half of them have disappeared. Of course, now what I'm finding is there's some big porn stars because they can't do porn. obviously if you're staying home, I mean, I guess if they were quarantining together, they could stay home and film porno things for their sites or whatever. But you're seeing a lot of these big porno chicks are actually doing cam shows now because they're not making any money, going out and shooting content for, whatever website, Evil Angel or whatever, so they're now, I mean, big star chicks, I can't even remember anyone's name, but I'm like, man, I've seen movies with her in it, and she's, and I never saw her cam before, and now they're camming. So that's how it's affecting the porno industry. So anyway, I talked to my son. And he was like, he had to go for this medical examination. He's like, Dad, I got a bill for $260, and you said you would pay it for me if I went. And I was like, yeah, hon, don't worry about it. I'll pay it for you. Just mail me the bill, and I'll write him a check, and I'll send it. He says, but it's due the 26th. And I told him a little secret. I said, dude, medical bills like that, first of all, they don't charge you interest. And really, it takes them usually like 3 months or 4 months to send you to collections. And so I said, don't worry so much about your medical bill right now. I'll take care of it. Just get it to me. I'll get it to them. They'll be happy. They don't charge you interest or anything like that.
Just happy if they get paid right now. They're just happy to get paid.
Right. That's the thing, right?
The entire system is screwed up because we should have M4A. Sorry.
Well, I'm going to try and see if I can get it done for free because they said all the corona,
testing,
the beer virus, right? The beer virus.
Now I get why you bought those. Okay, now I get why you bought those.
Wow, it took. Do I have to like knock you in the head with the pair of brass knuckles?
It's like, why the buy those?
It's like, hey, Andy, hey, here's the joke.
I thought you were just doing it. I thought you were just doing it to be kitschy. I didn't realize you were doing it to actually communicate something.
Yeah, no. So anyway, so I talked to my kid today, and that's basically what happened with that. Now, there's a couple other things that I wanted to talk to you about that we got into kind of not a fight, but like one of our little riffs before where we texting each other. And there's like phase 4 now coming out of the stimulus thing. And what Pelosi and her crew are doing is
tax break for the rich.
Well, okay. I could not give a shit about tax breaks for the rich or any of that other crap, but they're actually putting gun control legislation into a coronavirus bill. Yeah. They're gonna push their agenda on us using this.
Well, both sides are the same. It's the same coin. They're the same. Like I said, the mistake everybody in this country seems to make is that they believe that the DNC is like leftist organization. It's not. It's right. It's center right. And the political spectrum is set by the whole of humanity, not by one little country. We're just so far off into the fascist fringe that we assume that we're all right. We have no left leaning politicians, no left leaning political party, none of that shit. So we're fully on right wing. So just don't forget that the right wing is the ones who are trying to take your guns away, while the right wing are trying to fight them taking your guns away. It's that they're controlling both sides of the narrative. So they literally control both sides of the narrative. It's kind of like selling weapons to both sides in a war. That's how you make the profits.
Well, that's the thing. You said the DNC.
They're controlling the narrative completely.
Right, but you say in there they're
right.
Center right of who? Karl Marx? No.
No. Center right of the political spectrum. Look, this is a defined political spectrum. It's very simple.
Oh, okay. You know what?
Most places like centrist countries would be like, just because you don't happen to realize that is not it does not change the spectrum. The spectrum is in place. We view it throughout history, throughout the political parties, throughout political history, and throughout the whole world, not just America. America's all right wing.
America!
We're so far fucking right, it's insane.
America!
Hey, exactly.
Hey,
we love authoritative fascist countries involved in genocide. What?
Yes, well, like I said, a little genocide's sometimes not a bad thing. Anyway, here, this is.
Yeah, I said you're wrong about that.
This is for you. Hold on, I got a bottle opener, but I can't. It's a can opener, but it's hooked the wrong way onto my Leatherman tool. Oh, I figured out a way to do it. This is for you, dear. Okay, there's one, and I got my lime right here. Check that out. How's that for a perfect Corona? What do you think? What do you think? That's perfect Corona. That one's for you, honey.
Where's the beer salt? Where's the beer salt?
That, what's so funny? I can't do salt like that anymore because they told me I have to have like a low salt diet. So I can't do that anymore.
Makes
But
sense. Yeah.
Usually what they would do is they just dab a little salt around the top of it, so it's kind of like a beer margarita thing. And you know why they put the
Okay, back to the political spectrum thing. Okay, if you look at it globally, the centrist would be like the Netherlands, like any place that has that does care about its people, does have some socialist policies, some capitalist policies. Like social democratic, it would be centrist. That's why I said Bernie's a centrist. He's not left wing. Left wing, he's more like basically more like sees the means of production, that type of thing. So yeah, so they're center right on the global spectrum, on the global political spectrum. The DNC is center right. That means they're right wing. They've taken the position. They're Reaganites, for God's sakes. The people, the heads of the DNC, are now pushing everything that Reagan pushed. Neoliberal Reaganites. Well, the GOP has gone all the fucking way out there.
Right.
And Trump is actually to the left of Biden, though.
Yeah, on certain things I would say, but the thing is, right now they're spending so much money on this corona relief thing and all that.
It's the largest theft in American history. That's all it is. It's the largest theft in American history. None of these companies needed that. When they said, and they even lied, they basically the way they come out and say it, they go, "We're going to give out $500 billion and we're to capitalize. We're giving to the Fed to capitalize loans, which means fractional reserve, which means they'll give out $5 trillion." So it was not a $2.2 trillion bill. That was a $7 trillion bill. $7 trillion stimulus bill, the last one. And if they can't get by on that many trillions of dollars, then they deserve to fail. Because they're also still, as soon as they got their money, they started laying off their employees. They're just literally lining the pockets of the heads of the companies.
Hey, Andy, hold on a second. I want to give a shout out. My buddy Base Hiroshima Nick. He says, "Hey Robert, how are you?" "I'm great, Nick. How are you? How's Japan? How are you guys holding up there in Japan?" And we also got Tori Michaels coming in. "How you guys are great." Well, thank you, Tori. I appreciate it a lot. Base Nick, I call him Nick, but Base Hiroshima Nick is my friend Nick. He's got a great channel of his own. If you want to see a nice guy playing some beautiful instruments, I want everybody to go check out Nick's channel. I want you to subscribe and like and watch his videos. His videos are pretty short, but he always plays some really cool song. He's got a great guitar collection. All I can tell you is, if I had this guy's guitar collection, I have a nice guitar collection, but if I had this guy's bass collection, I would sleep with it every night. Okay. Of course, they'd be in their cases because I wouldn't want to damage them. His bass is a pristine condition.
You can hook a flashlight up to a bass case, no problem. You also hook one up to a computer, and that way you can just have right in the desktop in the 3.5 inch slot. There you go.
I'm sure you've probably tried too. Believe me. So if I ever,
a few.
Well, we'll go to Ace Hardware next time. We'll get one of those big hole saws and we'll mount one into the side of my Tweed Stratocaster case. We'll do that. So I don't want to digress too far into the filthy and inane, but so anyway, they're coming up with this. Governor Ralph Northam, he just signed a big bill into he signed a bunch of gun control legislations. Now, one of them is in Virginia. It's a one handgun a month policy that they're going to have, law that they're going to have, where you can only buy one handgun a month. Now, you know what? If you can afford to buy more than one handgun a month, more power to you. And have I ever bought more than one gun a month?
I in another state.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I don't know if there is now going to be allowed state-to-state purchases. Like if I go to Tennessee to see my dad, I walk into a gun store. Most places won't sell me a gun.
Yeah.
Okay. And although it's not illegal to do that, they just don't want the liability, especially with like an AR or an AK type rifle or an HK type rifle. Because I found one in Tennessee and the guy says, "No, we won't sell it to you." Now I found a pawn shop that says, "We'll sell you a long gun. We won't sell you a handgun." He says, because there's nothing illegal about selling you a long gun with an out-of-state license, as long as you can pass the NICS check, which is the National Criminal Investigate, whatever. And like they always say, "Oh, there's no background checks." There's background checks. You can't walk into a gun store and buy a gun without going through a background check. So that's another bullshit thing that they've made up. And also the bullshit gun show loophole. There's no fucking gun show loophole. When you go to a gun show, and if I want to sell, say I went to a gun show and I met some guy and I said, hey, I got this old Mini 14 that I want to get rid of.
Oh, I'll take it.
Right. And the guy's like, well, yeah. And the guy's like, sure. And how much do you want? And I said, well, it's in pretty good condition. I really literally only fired my Mini 14. I think probably about maybe 30 bullets, not even a whole box of ammo, probably. Because I tried shooting, I had to send it back to Ruger because the thing it wouldn't cycle, it wouldn't feed. I sent it back to them. They had to refit the bolt. They sent me new magazines. And when I got it back, I still haven't taken it out to test fire it even because I just haven't had a place to do it. So regardless, I got this Mini 14. You want to buy it? And the guy's like, yeah, before I can give him that, we have to go find an FFL dealer to run the instant, and they say instant background check. California is delaying everybody 10 days anyway, because that's their rule. There's a 10-day waiting period. New Jersey shut down the background check system. So at this, like Massachusetts, forget about it. I was watching Liberty Dolls stream the other night, and they're just denying people their Second Amendment right to purchase firearms in this craziness, craziness. Now, and then you see Alyssa Milano, her video, oh, we shouldn't have guns. But then I saw another clip of her. She's like, well, I own 2 guns for my own personal protection. So Alyssa Milano's like, it's a bad idea for people to own guns because after this is all over, those guns can end up on the street and in a school or in a bar or whatever.
We can end up there now. What the fuck? Not at school, but hey.
The funny thing is,
this crisis has put a complete end to the school shooting thing, hasn't it? There's been school shooting like in a month.
Here's a funny statistic I was just watching on somebody's live stream. In I think El Salvador, there's only been 2 murders a day, which is the lowest it's happened because in El Salvador, there's usually 600 murders a day in that country.
That was in the late 80s. Yeah.
In Chicago, the crime rate has dropped. Now, I'm wondering if the reason why the crime rate has dropped is because the police aren't responding to any like burglary or assault, or if there's no bodily injury, they're not responding to crimes. They're not answering 911 calls. Yeah. Okay. So if the cops aren't answering a 911 call, so
the murder rate drops down.
That's the other thing. If there's a dead body in a basement and nobody finds it, is a crime been committed? Like you said, in New Mexico, if they don't find the fucking body, there's no crime. Yeah. So you kill somebody in New Mexico, you dump them out, down a side road off of I-40 in a ditch. Ain't nobody ever going to find them. That body's going to be eaten by coyotes by the morning, or wolves or whatever the fuck you guys got out there, scorpions and rattlesnakes.
Everything here's lethal.
Well, like you told me the first time I came out to you said nothing's supposed to live here and everything that does live here wants to kill you. And I was just like, that's the most brilliant thing that anyone ever told me. When I went to Las Vegas, I said that to one of the bartenders, and he was from Chile, and he says, yeah, my friend, your friend is correct. And I was like, holy shit, So what is it about the desert that just makes people fucking nuts? Is it there's peyote or? I don't know.
I always think of like here in Albuquerque is just the elevation because things get more psychotic the higher up you go. Like if you get up on the top of the mountain, I worked up there for years. It's psychotic up there, and everybody is. So I think it's just lack of oxygen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here drinking this beer. I want to drink it like you said. If you don't get it while it's still cold, it gets all skunky. And this one's not. It's not ice cold anymore. It's not piss warm, but it's just getting to that like midway point. Like you said, you got to chug them, or they just taste shitty. But so that's
shitty anyways. This is nastiest beer.
Well, anyway, my point.
Shitty beer, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. This is considered the shittiest beer from Mexico. The reason why they put the lime in the top is not to add flavor to the drink.
No, so it doesn't taste like piss.
It's not even that. They put the lime in even the good beer there. It's to keep the flies off your drink. And that's what I was told when I was in wherever it was, Las Vegas that one time. It's like, well, you know, Corona with lime, you know, and it is refreshing. I like it. It's refreshing. It's also not like a high alcohol content beer, so it doesn't get you fucked up. Like you can drink a 12-pack of Coronas during a show, and you know, I'll still be relatively coherent by the end of the third set. Anyway, I was wondering where's our friend Soren?
Oh, I sent him a link. I don't know if he's. Let me see where he's at.
See where he's at. You find him. So anyway, Ginger, my point is, while Andy's working on linking up with my hero Soren, first time I remember going to get to video chat with him. I'm really, really psyched.
Hey, Andy, is this D Soren?
The Soren,
Okay.
the Soren Lampson. We want him come on live, definitely. Nobody's coming in the chat. Nick, where'd you go? I'm gonna have to send Nick a freaking comment on one of his videos just to make sure he still knows I love him. Great guy. He's from New York, by the way, Nick. He lives in Japan now. He teaches little Japanese kids how to speak English. Really nice, sweetest guy you'd ever want to meet. Well, I've never met him in person, but I've watched his videos and I've written back and forth to him. Really nice guy, great guy. Most of my subscribers are great people. You know, I get very little hate from any of my subscribers. I mean, I get some thumbs
Well, you get
down.
hate once it gets more popular. Yeah.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. But as a matter of fact, everybody loves you. They're like, oh, you're very talented. You know, what did the one, you got to read the comment on your on your media blackout previously recorded. That was the comment. He says, you talk very fast. You're so talented or something like that. It was really, I don't know if it was like a left-handed compliment, you know, but people are just grooving on you. I mean,
on this, people can slow it down. When people play this back, they can slow it down.
Yeah. Well, you on about, if we take your record and you're a 78, if we slow you down to 33, it's like what we used to do is take 45s, okay, and we would slow them down, and this way we could figure out the guitar licks and stuff on them. That's what everybody needs to do with you. They just need to slow you down long enough to figure out, you know, what the guitar licks that you're talking about are. But it's everything you say is brilliant once it comes back down to you know, human speed.
I should come with subtitles.
So you should. It would make it easier even for me. Well, I understand you, but that's why I wear the headphones, because if I hear you over my speakers, I don't always get it. So anyway, well, she looks like she's texting, I think, Ginger.
Oh, I was posting another ad for them to check us out on the Facebook and Instagram.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
So that way we get viewers. I mean,
hey, Ginger, why don't you tell everybody what your Instagram is?
My Instagram is Ginger_Sharp. Yeah, at Instagram.
Ginger_Sharp at Instagram. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And I hope
I don't remember where mine is. I should find that out.
Well, they can find you. Ginger, are you friends with me? Mine's Robert Graham Bass.
I don't know.
You gotta be friends with me on Insta. You gotta follow me. I'll follow you back. And if you want to follow Andy West, I think yours is Blasted Reality or Blasted Again. What is it?
No, it's like Blasted Again or something like that. I'm not sure. I have to look it up because I don't actually know it.
Well, just explain to everybody real quickly what the Blasted Reality and how that came about.
Oh, it's from living most of my life on like on a heavy amount of amphetamines and heavy amount of liquor. That way, the two of them, if you mix the two of them together, they kind of cancel each other out. So look sober every day, but not even close. So Blasted Reality is just when your reality is just slightly 2 steps to the left. Yeah, that's where it came from.
I remember when I first met you, and I was like, you said something in your profile about like some type of whiskey you drink and all day long, and I was like, okay, so is that the average day? And then you said something like, yeah, well, I start out with some whiskey. I've been on some type of prescription speed my entire life. And, and then I follow up, in the afternoon, just with the vodka enemas and stuff like that. And when you sent me that one, I was like, this chick is freaking cool. I said, I don't care where she's from or who she is or what she is or what's going on. I said, this chick is fucking cool. I said, I got to know this person, So that's how so Blasted Reality. And that's how we, of course, got to
it's Blasted Again. It's just Blasted Again.
Blasted Again. Okay. Blasted Again.
Yeah.
And that's, since when we did this, I think it was Christmas Eve, we did our first we were just Skyping and we recorded it and put it up. It was pretty funny. So we said, hey, why don't we turn this into a real show? So that was like HD ADHD.
ADHD, yeah.
Right. High definition, attention deficit, activity disorder.
Yep.
Because here's the two of us talking faster than me and you talking together would drive anyone batty because it would be like watching
You should see the two of us together, huh?
Oh my God.
It's bad.
I wouldn't want to be in the room. I'd have to be sitting there with like a fucking speedball syringe full of Jack Daniels. I'd be like, oh, But anyway, so that's I came out with media blackout because let's do the news and let's just or I'll sit around and I'll drink booze. Tonight I'm not. I mean,
booze in the news. Booze
in the news, exactly. I'm going to black out to the media. And I was telling my dad today about our thing, why I believe in the Second Amendment, because I believe my guns protect gay married couples' right to have an abortion. And my dad thought, he says, that is the funniest thing he'd ever heard. He was laughing his ass off. He says, that's really funny. So anyway, so next thing, what was the other thing you wanted to talk about? You had a couple other topics, Andy. Go for it.
Oh, I totally forgot what they were.
See that?
SBA, disaster loan. I don't know. Like the thing that I put up on Facebook earlier about the whole, this basically, if the powers that be running in Washington right now had any idea what's coming for them, they would run. They'd grab their liquid assets and bolt out of the country, but they're not going to. They're going to ride it for the last minute, and it's about to get really, really bad here. Really bad. People, like what I said, is people can live without most anything except for air, water, food, and hope. And basically out of hope, other than this $1,200 stimulus check, and once that's gone, the hope is gone. At that point, everything goes to hell. Like I'll be cutting down in this year soon, just to go down to a compound down there because I'm indefensible in this position.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. We're okay. This whole thing, the police aren't responding to 911 calls. People are rushing out to buying guns, so they hear there's a major epidemic. The police aren't going to be responding to 911 calls. And even Detroit, a couple other cities said, yeah, we're not anything that's not like a violent, crime. Like they're not going to respond to robberies unless there's, an injury.
Robbery's a violent crime.
But that's the thing. Unless there's like an injury, they're not going to the police aren't going to show up.
That's probably for the best. Have you ever actually called the cops for any reason? Because I have, and they arrested me. I did that once. Never doing that again.
I called the cops once on my kid's mother, and they were going to take me. Yeah. And I was holding the baby, and she got pissed, and she took a swing at me, and she missed, and she hit the freaking kid. I mean, my kid's mother. And then, of course, here's little cross-eyed blonde girl, because, she's got one eye that, goes one way or the other. Funny joke. My friends were all like, hey, your girlfriend seems pretty nice, but which eye should we look at? And I was like, the green one.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know, right? You talk about, I don't want to disparage my kid's mother on live television, though. So, Lisa, if you're out there, I love you, babe. Right? But anyway, so no, I've never called the cops. I have one rule. It's like, you don't call the cops ever. Yeah. Don't call the freaking cops. Because
even when I was getting my ass beat for 10 years, and I never called the cops.
Well, that's if you're getting your ass beat for 10 years, really don't call the cops. Hire a thug.
The neighbors did it for me, so I was all right. The neighbors called because it was the third time that month that he was strangling me in front of everybody in the parking lot. So yeah, the cops came and handled the situation. But yeah, never call the cops.
No, I don't want to get shot. People always say that. They always go, "Yo, you're disparaging cops." Well, what are you going to do when you have an emergency? You have to call them. I'm like, I'm not
Ginger.
Call them. There's no way. I cannot perceive a situation much.
Ginger. Like I said, hire a thug. Let me come talk to that motherfucker. I'll give him a freaking. I'll say, oh, you like hitting girls, huh? And yeah, okay. I mean, it's a little bit unfair, but you know what?
I'm good now. That shit'll never happen again.
Yeah. Well, you stand up for yourself and don't take that crap. Because I
take care of him for free. Yeah.
I learned a lot of life lessons since then, and I do it just for the sheer pleasure of just never mind. We won't go there.
Sheer pleasure of beating some fucker's head in. Anyway, so So they're not showing up. They want to stop your Second Amendment right. It's just plain wrong. Okay.
It's shock doctrine, disaster capitalism. All they're doing is they're getting totalitarian control because there's something shocking in the system. And they're prepared for it. It's like when the Patriot Act came out immediately after 9/11, like 256-page fucking law.
What gets me is they said
the second day.
What gets me is in the beginning of the coronavirus thing and all this stuff, the information that they heard about it, they said that the virus will die at a certain temperature. Here in New Mexico, it has reached that temperature already.
Yeah.
Like, they
It
said
won't die at a
like,
certain temperature. The CDC and the WHO have been lying, and the World Health Organization have literally been lying to people. Like the whole thing, like masks don't do any good. Now masks do good.
Yeah.
They were lying in the first half of that.
Talk amongst.
Come online instead of being straight up and go, look, we don't have enough. We don't have enough masks, so please don't use them. Yeah, they would help you, but please don't use them because we don't have enough. If they come out and been honest with it, that'd be one thing. But now we know the CDC and the World Health Organization have zero problem lying to everyone.
Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves about this. CDC, I'll give you a topic. CDC, and how about the World Health Organization being dominated by China? Go.
Okay, well, that's true on the World Health Organization. But the CDC, the fact that they would just lie to us like that about masks and try to give us a story that would make their not having any on hand, work out. That's fucked up.
Well, what cracks me up too is the whole there's not supposed to be any international travel because of, all the stuff came from China and this and that. Yet I've ordered things from Wish that are still coming in the mail.
Yeah, me too. I've been getting Wish bombs all the time.
Amazon stuff, yeah, and it's still coming from China because everything from there comes from China. So this international travel, wouldn't that cease international trade?
It's only people ban. The international trade is not. No, they're still doing that. Which is just, she can live on cardboard. So what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everything I'm getting, because I do that like once around my birthday, like in November. I order a bunch of stuff on Wish, and then I just get surprise presents all the time for like the next year, because Wish has got. They're so jacked on how the time it takes to send something, and something's land here, it's stuck in customs for like months. So it's literally like getting presents all the time for like the course of the year. But I'm still getting them. I still got like 8 more coming, something like that. And I'm just like, oh fuck, I don't want these things.
The same thing. It's like, yeah. I ordered colored contacts for my daughter because she wanted colored contacts. So I'm waiting for them to come in, and it says they won't be here till like June. I'm like, oh, Grace, you'll get them for your birthday if they get here by your birthday. And then the things I ordered when I first got released from jail, they still haven't came.
Yep. Yeah, no,
I got things that I ordered after that.
I got the Shenzhen bombs. Yeah.
Well, okay, guys, I tell you what. Here's a funny thing. I'm down to my last pair of glasses here. I got these tinted ones and everything. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah.
I got these. I got my tinted glasses here. But I just found my other pair of bifocals and they fell off my head. I don't know, a few weeks ago, and I guess they ended up going under my computer desk. Well, I found them today. One lens is missing, so I have to get new glasses. And the thing is, the glasses place is closed. So it's like, I'm really worried that I'm going to be wearing my dark glasses and end up like Roy Orbison wearing sunglasses all the time. Because
he was blind, but yeah.
Well, Roy Orbison wasn't blind.
He was blind. Yeah, he was blind. He was legally blind. Yeah. Oh, he was? Sorry about those glasses. He didn't ever talk about it. He didn't tell anybody, but that's why. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, from the legend that I heard was that he actually he broke his regular glasses and he put on his dark glasses, and that's why he just kept wearing dark glasses forever. But I don't know. You're probably right.
No, he's actually blind. You ever seen his house?
Wow, look at this.
Neither is he.
Look how cold this beer is. Check that out. This is like a perfect beer. Oh my god. Look at how the lime is forming this like iceberg crystal on this. This is like the perfect. And it's like only half the bottle is frozen, but I gotta drink it right now.
Yeah, it's not gonna work because you froze it.
Well, no, it's working. It's working. And the only reason it's freezing is because the lime. You can see it's causing some type of or endothermic reaction right now. So I'm really enjoying tonight's live stream. And that's Ginger. I gotta tell you, I always love it while you're here. This way you guys can talk about stuff while I have to go pee and we don't have to, roll the media blackout live thing going on.
Let's make it easier.
God, that's good beer. That's good beer.
Is it pouring you? No. I see, I saw nothing go down the neck of that bottle, dude. Feel solid now?
Yeah, it's getting pretty solid, but it's not coming out the top, which is great. So I'm just gonna let that sit there and defrost for a minute, and in about 4 minutes, 5 minutes, that thing's gonna be perfect. So anyhow, so I talked to my dad. Okay, here's another situation. My father is, like I said, is in an adult residence, assisted living in Tennessee, and for the last, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, they haven't been for like 3 weeks. They didn't let him out of his room.
Yeah.
They kept him locked in their rooms, and they still bring him their meals. He says now they let him go outside, but they're not allowed to be together. So he says he says I walk outside, and he says it's about a quarter mile down the path. He says I go sit out on a bench for 2 hours. And I mean, I feel bad for him because here's my dad all by himself. My mother's in a nursing home. He hasn't seen her in a month or so. And when she talks, she's like, okay, I gotta go. Goodbye. So she doesn't want to talk to anyone. She just sits there and she watches TV. My sister can't go see her. So it really worries me because I used to work in a nursing home. I was a nurse. Okay. Mm-hmm. As a licensed practical nurse I still am. I got to get my license renewed, but I'm not. I was going to actually thinking about going back to work for this situation, like saying, okay, I'm here. Do you need help? But I'm not, because if I catch this shit, I'm dead. I've been smoking.
So here in town, there was some crazy news today. You were talking about your dad's in assisted living or whatever.
Yeah.
And the residents of Albuquerque nursing home were evicted so that the coronavirus patients can move in. So they kicked an 84-year-old woman and I don't know how many other people out of their assisted living home to make it into a place for coronavirus.
Jesus Christ. We have nothing but empty strip malls here. What the fuck?
Yeah.
We have nothing but every strip mall is half empty in this town. No, there's no business here. So yeah, they're kicking people out of an active. Oh, that's fucked up.
It says the Department of Health has identified positive coronavirus cases in residents and staff at the following living facilities: Advanced Healthcare of Albuquerque, Aztec Healthcare in Aztec, Beehive Homes in Farmington, Central Desert Behavioral Health in Albuquerque, Good Samaritan Manzano del Sol in Albuquerque, La Vida Llena in Albuquerque, Legacy Santa Fe, Life Care in Farmington, and Uptown Genesis in Albuquerque. So what did they do? Go release it at all the old folks' homes?
Pretty much, yeah.
And then they're kicking them out, or to make beds for people to go to be in the home?
We have plenty of space here. They could be converting. They could easily be converting strip malls here into.
There's plenty of room at the fucking hospital. At UNM Hospital, there's plenty of room. That's crazy to kick those old people out of their homes.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. It's the dumbest thing. But they're just doing it. It's just more cruelty.
Well, when
I was dead and dozens tested at assisted living at the La Vida Llena that I was just talking about. 6 people dead because of the coronavirus and dozens tested. And I'm pretty sure that that's one of the places they were kicking people out of to make into a place for people that are sick.
Yeah, well, when I was out there, when all this shit was starting, because I would go outside and sit in my car and smoke cigarettes, and I would just start the car and listen to the radio while I smoked. There was one station, and I don't know which one it was, but AM radio in Albuquerque, and they were talking about, at the time, the guy made the same argument. He says, we got all these empty strip malls and we have a homeless problem. Why don't we turn these empty strip malls into little homeless places? I mean, basically put little partitions up, give everybody their own little room with a cot in it, and get these people off the goddamn street. Now, mind you, in Albuquerque, the day I left, it was cold. It was, I think, 20 degrees while I was filling up getting gas. When I got up to the top
6 o'clock in the morning, yeah.
Right. Well, it was probably about 8, I think, when I left, or 7, because I don't think the kids had yet left for school. But when I got to the top of the mountain, on I-40, how when you leave town, you're headed east on I-40.
Moriarty.
It was 5 freaking degrees.
Yeah, mountain's always cold.
And it was the most unusual phenomenon. It was like foggy, but I got out of the car and it was like you could like grab it was like the you were in a frozen cloud. It was just so.
You were in a frozen cloud. You were.
It was so,
Yeah.
but you could actually grab the air and like pack it into your hands. It was unbelievable.
We're a mile high, so the clouds that you see in other places would be frozen cloud. You would never get that close to the ground, but here it does.
Well, I
New
mean,
Mexico's the only place where you could see it rain, snow, hail, sleet, the sunshine, all in the same day.
Yeah, straight up, yeah.
well, no, New York, we have that too. Believe it or not, I've seen.
Out there
I've
in the East Mountains, where you're talking about, where you could grab the cloud in the East Mountains
Yeah.
of Moriarty, you can look out across at the horizon or at the skyline, and you can see it rain in Edgewood, or you can see it raining in Estancia. Like, you, for miles away, you could see all these things happening.
You also see the
just by
curvature of the
looking at
earth, yeah.
sky.
It's a beautiful place. I gotta tell you, you guys live in probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to.
Beautiful hell,
people-
there ain't no fucking
This place
grass.
would be great.
Well, okay, Ginger, the thing is, when you live here in fucking Greenland, you know, my friend Annie, she used to call this the Emerald City because it was all green. And in the winter, it's brown. In the fall, there's a lot of colors. It's like,
I would
you know-
trade anything in the world to be in North Carolina because it is so beautiful out there. The green, the colors of fall when it turns red and golden and yellow, and like, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Out here is brown and dead and disgusting.
Beige, beige, and beige.
Tennessee's like that too. I was in Tennessee. Well, I was there when I came out to see you. Obviously, I saw my dad first. But I was there back in the fall, like the end of October, or actually the middle of October. And down there, the leaves were just starting to change. You know, they were starting to
What's
you
in
know-
the Appalachian Mountains?
Yeah, well, it's the Smoky Mountains,
The Great Smoky Mountains, the Appalachian,
there.
where the Appalachian Trail. My
Yeah.
dad and them live in the Blue Ridge Parkway. Where your dad's at is close to where my dad's at. My dad's in a little bit outside of Johnson City, Tennessee. Like, he's right on the border of North Carolina and Johnson City, Tennessee.
Yeah, my dad's up near the West Virginia. He's like in northeastern Tennessee, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Anyway, it's so really we're just talking maybe a couple of 100 miles away from where it is. The leaves there are gorgeous, but they peak. I mean, down there it's still green when all of our leaves are falling off the trees. So our peak leaf time here,
Peak leaf time.
the peak leaf time here is about you know, the second week of October, third week of October, you know, for watching the colors change and stuff like that. But after that, by Thanksgiving, there's no leaves on the trees. Like around deer season, you got great fields of view to shoot deer because there's no leaves on the trees at all. And then so in the fall, it's beautiful colors. Then it's brown. Then the winter, it's just freaking gray and white and like, oh God. I mean, it's gorgeous, but it's horrible. I mean, and it goes on for 4 or 5 months sometimes. And then in the spring, we have like mud season in March, like around this time I call mud season. And the plants and trees are just starting to get little buds on them. A couple of years ago, my tulips came up and they were gorgeous, and I took pictures of them. I sent them to everybody, and I was like, oh, I can't wait till they get bigger. And then it snowed like a foot, and they all got killed. So
That happens every year here. Yeah.
yeah, well,
Every year. Everything starts growing up, and then there's like a month, everything grows, and then sometime in April there's another blizzard, just randomly, and then it goes away, and then we have nothing growing all year. Yeah.
Yeah, right now my daffodils are like blooming and they're beautiful, and it's like they've got crazy blooms on them right now. But my irises, the blooms already died. The hyacinths that I had blooming, those already died. And the new growths that I had in my little potted plants that I started from seeds, those are already dead.
well, Ginger, I gotta tell you, if we had to have one bug out location during a major, you know, financial, economic, global meltdown.
Oh, you mean like this one?
Yeah, exactly. I would definitely like want to go to your dad's place, and I'll provide security for the perimeter security for the compound. You know, and if I could, I'll bring my tractor and plow up the ground. You guys can plant.
As long as y'all bring your guitars, we're good to go.
Well, hey, you know what I bought at the farm store? When was it? Thursday.
Viagra?
No, this is not Viagra. These
Yeah,
are
Looks like it.
Oh.
no Viagra. Viagra's over here. I think it's on. Oh, here. Yeah, wait. Yeah, hold on. Here's the Viagra. Okay, there's the Viagra. You know, it's Indian Viagra. This stuff is called. It's got like a horse on it. It's just amazing. This stuff.
Hey, what site did you get that off of?
What?
What site did you get that off of?
I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of faith in the internet, you know. And the thing is, it's not like you buy something from Amazon if it's not there in 2 days, complain, or eBay if it's not there in 5 days, complain. I ordered stuff. It was March 6th, and I don't know how I ordered it from China, but the return address on the shipping label came from somebody in Massachusetts. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. This shit came from India, and I didn't think I was gonna get it. I was sitting around waiting, and I'm like, this is a scam. And like, you go on these websites, and there's like no way to contact the people, and it's like you try to get into your account. It's like, well, enter your email, enter your password. Can't get into my account, you know. But the shit shows up, so it's like, okay, well, I'll order from them again, I guess.
Did you go through in-house chemist?
I don't know.
Ask me for which place I go through. Because I go through in-house chemist. They're little Vanuatu, the island nation of Vanuatu. And they have better stuff than we get from the FDA here.
Nice. You have to send me the link.
Oh yeah, just put in inhousechemist.vu.
In-house chemist?
In-house chemist, yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice.
I don't know.
You also have in-house pharmacist if you have an actual script, but they have two different websites. One if you have a script, one if you don't.
Well, anyway, this bag is not. This bag is not.
Viagra? Okay, fine. You got Cialis in the bag.
No,
that's what I said. Cialis.
These are actually beanpole beans. These are like Jack and the Beanstalk kind of beans. These are the ones you plant in the ground and.
I'm not jacking no one's beanstalk.
Oh God! Don't get me started. Jacking my beanstalk, you minx, you little minx. So I got that, and I got a 50-pound bag of seed potatoes. I think these were $2. Now you buy a bag of seeds like this and of burpee seeds in like Farm and Family Center or Central Tractor or whatever it's called. You know, it's like $14. So I'm supporting my local seed and feed place. But I got a 50-pound bag of seed potatoes for like I think the total bill for them and the potatoes was like $28. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm gonna plant potatoes. So Ginger, trust me, really, if this does happen, you guys got to get to your dad's house. You let me know where it is. I'll find a grid. Give me a grid, you know, location, a grid coordinate, and I'll find it on a map. I'll show up with my F-350 full of freaking.
I'll make sure everybody knows. I'll make sure you guys know where we're headed.
Yeah, well, you just let me know because I'm coming to hang with you guys, and of course, you know, is pot legal there now in North Carolina?
I believe so. I'm pretty sure my dad said it was.
Okay, because I know.
I really cared about legality.
Yeah, it's true. Well, think about Kentucky. The best grass is grown down in Kentucky. That Kentucky bluegrass shit. I don't know what it is. You know, it's funny. My friend bought a house, and I'm not going to mention which friend, but he bought a house, and the guy who built the house had to sell it because he ended up in federal prison. He got caught with an 18-wheeler full of pot in Kentucky.
Yeah,
Can you imagine an entire 18-wheeler full of pot? Okay.
I can, yeah. I've seen it. Yeah. He's also in federal prison with a bunch of guys, a bunch of older guys that was their retirement plan.
I guess. Well, you know, hey, I was writing back and forth on Twitter. What?
I said the fact that our government still considers a plant illegal is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, apparently God does make mistakes, doesn't he?
Well, you know the reason why they made pot illegal, and they did the whole propaganda films. You know, marijuana, the weed that hath root in hell, and young girls, you know, high on marijuana, getting knocked up and giving hand jobs and truck stops and whatever.
With the white guy with blackface on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
banging black men.
It was a crackdown on the activists and the minority populations. That's Nixon's fucking chief of staff has already come out and admitted it fully. Was it McMaster's or who the fuck was it? Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, it was the DuPonts who wanted to get rid of the hemp plants because it basically comes down to freaking rope, okay?
Yeah.
Hemp was used in everything. The DuPonts, they wanted to promote their new product called, guess what? Nylon. Okay. Now, trust me, there's nothing I like better than, you know, a sexy girl walking down the street in a pair of nylons running up the back of her stocking like the Van Halen song, you know. I like the way
They could
the
make that out of
line
hemp.
runs up the back. Well, I guess they could make stockings out of hemp. I don't know how comfortable
You
it
may
is.
produce anything out of hemp, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but that's why the DuPonts, you know, that's why they illegalized, they criminalized the plant. And they went on this huge, I mean, it was a marijuana eradication program, you know, so they had a federal policy to eradicate a weed. Now, if they had one weed they wanted to get rid of, why couldn't it be the freaking dandelion? Because it makes mowing my lawn a pain in the goddamn ass. Of course, you know what I found?
Those goat heads that fucking grow out here everywhere.
Goat heads, yeah. The goat heads, I can live without the goat heads. Yeah.
Yeah.
They serve no purpose other than hurting you. Yeah.
Well, the thing about dandelions I found out is you can actually eat dandelions. And last year,
make wine out of them, yeah.
You can make wine out of them. And this year we're going to go pick dandelions because the kids have nothing to freaking do.
You can also eat violets. The little blue flowers. Yeah.
If you dry, there's a way to do it, to dry it.
You don't have to dry them. You can put them straight in a salad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had to dry them to make the little violet. Anyway, I remember the little violet candies. They were really good. I don't know if you're old enough to remember violet candies, but
violent candies, but not violet. No.
I just put my cigarette on my chair. There it is. See,
way to go up an octave.
Yoo-hoo! Yeah, I know, right on a chair. Oh my God! Don't burn them little gems. So the Comrade De Blasio in New York City announced today that he's closing schools till fall. Which Governor
New Mexico already did that. My daughter is out of school until
New Mexico did that
next year.
Yeah, a month ago. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
So your kids are out too, huh?
Well, my kids they're not out. My kids are doing everything online. Like the school that I put them in.
Yeah.
It's charter school, and they were already fully adapted to online learning anyways. So their school starts up on Monday. It starts up full time, like actual classes and stuff like that. They have to go to and be on time for. So they'll do that for the rest of the year. But yeah, they're getting dual credits, man. They got to stay in school. Yeah, their school works. I don't know if the rest. I don't think their SABS is doing that.
Well, the kids I feel bad for are the seniors because I mean, and they were talking about we're going to open the school up in June again. You know, around here they said we're just going to open in June just so like the seniors they can have their prom and they can have their you know, graduation, shit like that. But I'm like, how are they going to have the prom? Because the hotel that they have the prom in every year here is freaking closed and is going to be closed for the foreseeable future, according to everybody I know who works there. And I got to tell you, the one band I play in is all doctors, and they, I guess, are just at work, you know, all the time. The other band I play in is a bunch of teachers. Like my drummer, he's a guidance counselor. And, you know, I said, oh, man, how long school out? And he says, till the end of April, but we're going back. And I'm like, I don't know if you're going back, dude.
Not going back, no.
Well, that's why I started with my gardening thing. Is like my cousin has, you know, younger kids. And my drummer, he's got a couple of younger kids. And I'm like, why don't you just do a garden? Because, you know, if you're going to be, they got property to work on. And like at my dad's house, there's acreage. My house, I'm on 55 by 75, I think, is the size of my lot. And that's feet. Okay. But in my dad's house, you know, my old house was 107 acres, but don't get me into that. My dad's house, there's like 13 acres there. I'm going to plow up maybe an acre, maybe, you know, a few rows to plant corn in, but that's about it. But that'll keep a couple of kids busy. Also, it'll be educational because, hey, you know what? We're going to learn how to grow shit, which I think is a really good thing because that's like a practical skill.
Yeah, kids don't know that shit now.
Yeah.
When I was my first job, I had chucking bales of hay. Like, we'd go behind the tractor and they'd bale the hay and we throw it on the trailer, and then I set tobacco. I'd ride on the back of the tractor, and they have this little thing that goes down and it scoops the dirt, puts the tobacco plant in the ground, and then waters it all in the same like little thing. It was kind of cool.
It's the same thing that grabs the kid and drags him under and plants him in and waters him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I've seen those. I've read them in Reader's Digest. Yeah.
I'm just grateful that I know things like plants and stuff like that are edible and like how to survive without, everything else. Like, I don't need processed food. I can grow my own food. I know what plants I can eat if I can't grow my own food. I know how to kill an animal if I need to kill an animal for meat or whatever.
I got the butchering, I got the hunting, I got all that stuff. And I can skin a buck, I can run a trout line. Yeah.
I can make a lean-to. I can, I'm pretty good as far as the survival shit goes because when I was a kid, yeah, I can, hole up in a Walmart and kick everybody the fuck out. If it comes down to it, that's
Dawn of the Dead style, yeah.
Yeah, if it comes down to it, I'm taking over Cabela's or Walmart, one of the two. Or Big Five, as long as there's
Well, Big Five doesn't have food. I mean, probably do Walmart just food.
Yeah, Walmart has food. Cabela's has some food. Big Five has like
weapons
and like I guess it would be, what is it? The nutritional supplement.
Oh yeah. They have Cliff Bars. So yeah, we'll hit Cabela. We'll hit the sporting goods place. Then we'll go from there. Use that as a staging point to hit Walmart.
Yeah. Well, see, I was thinking the Big Five on San Mateo because it's got the 2 stories, so that way, we can, if we have to,
above,
if we have to hold up in
elevated position,
Yeah. So if it comes down to everybody turning into zombies because all this shit, because I still think that's going to happen at some point. Like all these people that die from this coronavirus, they're all going to come back to life here real soon, and we're all in for it.
I highly doubt that.
Again, I can't deny that. I can't say I have any doubts on that one because this is New Mexico. It might just happen.
It's the zombie apocalypse, man. We've been talking about it for years. Everybody needs to be prepared because the zombies are coming.
Yeah. Well, two things, okay? 2 things. One, Big Five sells guns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me that? I miss going to Big. Now, next time I come back, now I have to come back just so I can go see how many guns are at Big Five. I got to tell you, Albuquerque.
They don't have a wide selection. The Big Five I was talking about, it's not a big selection of guns. They've got some handguns and a lot of airsoft and a lot of knives and some, my personal favorite, the crossbows. Those are fucking awesome.
The place I like best in Albuquerque, so if anybody in Albuquerque is watching this, Ron Peterson's gun shop was great. It was all secondhand guns, used guns, antique guns. I mean, very.
That's a used store, yeah. There's a used store and a new store, yeah.
My daughter's uncle, he had a gun store here in town called Butch's Gun Shop.
Oh yeah.
They robbed it, I guess, and he had to shut it down. I didn't know that, but I guess that happened just this past year over the, last year during the summertime or something like that. They backed a truck into it and loaded up all the guns and drove off. And
I heard about that because when I did the searches on my iPhone, because basically I was there, I was like, gun stores near me, and my phone just blink, 14 places. And I swear to God, because it was like a couple of days after I was there hanging out, I didn't really know my way around. I mean, I still don't know my way around town, but now I have a general idea of where the hell I am. You got Carlisle, you got San Mateo, you got what's the other big street there?
Central.
Montgomery. Yeah, right. And then you got where the big Army Navy store is, Kaufman's Army Navy.
That's Central. That's all the way up east on Central.
Yeah. And if you stay on that road, don't you drive past the car wash that Walter White owned? You know that big, huge car wash there?
Is that the one, or is it the one that he owned, the one that was on Manal? I can't remember.
Oh,
I don't remember.
Are there two?
Oh, there's like 3 or 4 of them that look exactly like that one that the octopus car washes. Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't know that. I saw one car wash that was huge, and I actually did a selfie of myself, and I took a video of myself standing in front of it. I just can't find it. If I
would have been out while you were here, I could have taken you to the actual house because I know exactly where it's at.
Well, that's the thing, Ginger. Next time I do come out, me and you are going to do the whole Breaking Bad thing.
Yeah, I'll take you on a tour because I know where all that shit is.
Definitely.
Don't throw pizza on people's roof because they're sick of it.
Right. Well, and the thing is, Andy, I got to ask you, I might have lost it in your house. If you find 128 gig, it's not the big
SD card, micro SD.
A little micro SD.
I'll look around.
I hope you didn't sweep it up or vacuum it up.
It probably got vacuumed. But I'll check the couch.
Yeah, I know. Check the couch. Check something because I lost all my footage from my trip out there because I shot it all on this one. It was it's a Samsung. It's green. Okay.
You sure you didn't put that thing in you sure you didn't put it in one of those cameras that you got?
that's the thing. I did, and I took it out, and I checked my body cams, and I don't have it. And I was sitting on the couch playing with it right before I left.
You're not supposed to tell the world you were sitting on the couch playing with it.
Oh, well.
How did you look at the pictures on the SD card when he was out of the camera, man? That's terrible.
No, I don't know. We
I
won't.
left him alone down there. I just left him alone.
We won't go. Well, we won't go into that. Oh my God! I gotta tell you one thing, honey. I missed that bed. That was the most comfortable freaking bed that I ever was on. When I got home and I'm on, cause I gotta get a new mattress. I put a mattress in a box spring from my friend Charlie, Crazy Tom's. If you ever gotta get, well, he don't own it anymore, but if you're in Cooperstown, Crazy Tom's, you gotta go. I bought this thing, and I gotta tell you, it was the most comfortable mattress when I got it. Now all I feel is a metal spring sticking me in the ass every night. It's like the most uncomfortable. I've been sitting on it. I never got a box spring for it either. I got it up. My bed is actually up on food buckets and ammo cans. No bullshit. So I mean, if you need to survive and I'm dead, just pick up the mattress and box spring, just roll me off onto the floor, and I take all my shit. It's under the bed. Trust me, it's all under the bed.
Wait till you die? That's terrible. That just seems like a heavy roll.
If I'm not dead, then I'm going to be shooting at you when you walk into my house. So
well, I'll knock first.
Well, if you come over, obviously I'll be like shit. Fucking.
How'd you get here? I teleported. I can do that.
Yeah, no, right.
Also talk to plants, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, how are your plants doing, by the way?
Doing good. I gotta like move them outside or do something like that because they're kind of like they're not growing anymore because they're still in the box. But I need to get potting soil and I need to get some planters and I have none of that stuff. Like I didn't really put any thought into this whole process. Like what do I do after the first growth stage? Because I don't really know how to grow stuff. So the plants are great. I got to put them in something bigger and then put them in the sun possibly.
That's always a good idea.
Yeah, sun and water is really, and dirt. Sun, water, and dirt is really all it takes.
That's just so needy.
I've got Miracle Grow too if you need it.
I need Miracle Grow, yeah. Absolutely. I want like little Jesus things to pop up.
Oh my God. I got a couple of bags of this stuff. It's called like triple 13. It's like fertilizer.
This is like a Trailer Park Boys plan. Now we're doing triple 13 this season.
Right. Well, triple 13 is like a fertilizer, and I didn't know anything about fertilizer or anything like that because my fertilizer has always been cow shit, and my favorite was rabbit shit and duck shit when I had ducks. But rabbit shit is the greatest stuff because you can scoop it out right from under the cage and just chuck it into your flower beds or into your pots or whatever.
I prefer composting. It's a little less, shitty.
Yeah, and what I like to do,
shit oriented, yeah.
Well, what I used to do with my leaves here was I had this little it was like a little foldable cage that we had for the puppy when my parents got the puppy. And that's where, when he was little, that's where we kept him, and we put papers down so he would pee-pee and poo-poo on the papers and stuff like that. And of course, I took the cage and I brought it here and I had my ducks in it. And when the ducks got big enough, I brought them to my dad's pond because my dad has a pond. Of course, the ones that were brave enough, well, the ones that were too chicken to walk down to the pond, that just like stayed by the front of the barn, they got eaten by foxes. And the ones that went down to the pond, I started with 12 ducks. 2 got sick, so we had to kill them. But I had 10 ducks left. So 4 were up by the barn, and they didn't want to go down to the pond. The other ones I just basically took, and I picked them up, and I threw them into the water, into the pond. And once they got in the water, they were like, oh, we're so happy. And they would like swim around all together like a little armada. And I had these 6 beautiful ducks, Peking ducks, white, gorgeous. They don't fly away. I love Peking ducks. I love white rabbits. I like the New Zealand bunnies.
We used to have goats. We had goats and we had chickens. We had pygmy goats. Let me correct that. We had pygmy goats. They were like mini goats, like not full-size goats, but like the little ones.
Did you ever do goat yoga with your goats? No.
No,
anyway.
We used to watch them play King of the Mountain on my dad's Pontiac Fiero.
Oh, yeah, I would love that. I still got cat paw prints on my car from where my friend, I was in Vermont, at a place. So I drove up there in my pickup truck. I left her with the car so she would have a means of transportation. And her kids, she's like, oh, I let the girls wash my car. And I'm like, oh my God, don't let your girls do anything to my car. So like they washed my car with like dish soap or something like that.
Oh no.
And I don't know what happened to the wax that I had in the car, but it softened it up. And the fucking cat walked all over my car with muddy footprints. There's still cat paw prints on my freaking car. And that was, I think, in 2011. So like 9 years later on that car, there's still freaking cat paw prints on the hood. But anyhow, so the other ducks that went in the pond, they were swimming around. My dad would sit there. It was so cute. He would sit there with his binoculars and he'd watch them from his back porch. He'd look down, because it's probably, I don't know, 100, maybe 200 yards from the back porch down the backfield. There's the pond. And he would sit there with his binoculars and he'd watch the ducks just swim around for hours. He thought it was the greatest thing. Well, I went down. I was like, where did the fucking ducks go? There was one duck left. And I was like, where did the other 5 ducks go?
That duck ate the rest of them. It's a killer duck. You can't trust that.
No, I couldn't figure it out where they went. Well, one day and then I didn't see the last duck. So one day I'm driving around and I see the duck in the middle of the pond. My friend Skip goes, you got a snapping turtle. And I go,
I had one of them rob me of a Shakespeare rod and reel one time.
Really?
Turtle. Yeah, I had my dad got me a brand new fishing pole, Shakespeare rod and reel, like a high dollar fishing pole. And the first time I go to use it, I put it, I cast out into the river and the snapping turtle caught my line and he jerked back and the whole pole went out of my hand, flying into the river, and it was gone.
Well, anyway, this snapping turtle, I just so happened to have, I have a really nice long, we call it a beanfield rifle, it's like for taking long shots across a flat field or across, a valley or whatever. And it was in my dad's barn because I took it into the barn. I was bore sighting it, and I was putting a bipod on it. And this thing, it was kind of zeroed, but not really that great. Anyway, it's like a deer hunting rifle, okay? And I was standing in the bottom of the barn. I was looking out the window, and I saw something going across the grass. And I hadn't mowed the grass in a week or two, so it was a little high. But I saw something moving. I'm like, oh fuck! It's another one of those skunks, because we get a lot of rabid skunks out there. Like if you see a skunk during the day just sitting on the lawn, shoot it. Kill it, get rid of it, because it's sick, So I was like, oh, that's that skunk. I didn't have a shotgun, but I had this rifle. So I ran upstairs into the barn where I could get a better vantage point, from actually the 3rd story of the barn. My dad's barn is huge. It's like 75 by, I don't know, probably 50. And it's 3 stories tall. I get up into the top loft. I open up the door. I'm looking down. I'm like, holy shit, that thing is huge. It was a snapping turtle. I took the thing and I jacked around into it and I shot at it. Now, of course, it's a turtle. Turtles can move pretty quickly if they're scared, but this thing was kind of just plodding along. So I missed it with the first shot, but I saw where it hit. And I just adjusted my point of aim and I blasted it and went right to its shell. This thing just, I got down there. Ginger, this freaking thing was this big, okay?
I believe it.
It was huge. And of course, I cut its legs off and I tried eating them. You don't want to eat turtle. Turtle tastes like basically turtle. It's
a snake. Yeah.
Right. It's a little bit better than eating carp. Put it that way.
I'm not a fish person or a reptile person, so yeah.
Well,
no.
Big turtles are just nasty. Like anything, when it gets bigger, it gets older, it gets tougher. My computer screen keeps blipping on and off, and
I'm gonna have to go soon too, you guys. Yeah. I hate to dip out on you early, but I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah. So is Soren coming on? I mean, is he?
No, I have not been able to get a hold of him. So
you haven't been able to get. Well, Ginger, thank you so much for being here. I love you, honey.
Love you guys too, and everybody stay safe and healthy, and talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Yeah. Oh, and I just got on a chat. I got D-Bag 0584. He says, "You rock, Robert. Love him. Love you too, D-Bag." I gotta type in love you too, D-bag. All right. Oh, anyway, I'm trying to type. That's the thing. I got to get new glasses. And the glasses place is closed, so I can't. I'm actually gonna put my bifocals back. I call these my birth control glasses because when you're wearing glasses like this, you ain't never getting laid. You know. So.
True.
Where's your glasses tonight? Actually, you look really hot tonight. I gotta tell you.
Mine are right here. Mine are right here. So, like, I got like 6 pairs of glasses here. Like, these are the only ones I can find, and they're not really like mine. So they work for seeing. I can read with these things on. But yeah.
So anyway, my dearest, my lovely, is there anything you'd like? I mean, can you hang out for a while, or you got to feed the kids, or?
I got to feed the kids. That's the only thing I got to do is feed the kids.
All right.
Probably, I mean, we probably should cut it off about now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everybody who's been watching. I got my friend D-Bag. I got Hiroshima Nick. I got Tori Michaels. Thanks for being on the stream tonight. I mean, we actually, hey, last time we had, one person. Tonight we had 3. We got 1 watching right now. This is really taking off. And I'd also like to thank everybody for helping me hit 200 subscribers, because for me, that's a huge thing. I mean, I hear my friends, they, talk about, they went from 100, like Guns and Gadgets, Jared there. He went from like, maybe 60,000 subscribers. I remember when he hit 100,000. I remember when he hit 180,000. Now he has over 250,000 subscribers, which is great. Check him out, Guns and Gadgets. Check out Liberty Doll. Check out this new dude that I just found. I think he's called Magical Prepper. I got him do a response video to one of his videos. Right as soon as I'm done with us, I'm going to shoot that one. All right. Okay, cool. Which I'll edit that myself, but you're going to cut this one down. I'm going to cut this one down and reload it up. I also have the last week's to load up on here as an edited version. Yeah. So I'm going to probably be loading up stuff all night. All right. Well, that's fine. You keep loading Facebook as well. Yeah. Just as long as you don't watch my watch history on YouTube, because of course. Oh yeah, I haven't even looked at that yet. I should look at that. I should share a screen and look at that. Well, yeah, there's nothing too weird on it. I mean, Blair White and there's this one girl. She's like a lesbian chick, and she's like, I guess got red pilled. Her name is like last name Scarcella. No, her name is Ariel Scarcella. You should check her out. You'd like her. She's like your type of chick, honey. Really. This girl, you'd like her, but she's kind of turning conservative now because she sees the error of her ways and she sees the way the world is going. You check her out, Ariel Scarcella. Who else? Obviously Blair White. She's my heroine, my pink Power Ranger. Magical Prepper, Guns and Gadgets, Liberty Doll, Redhead Redemption. She's funny. She's a former porn star, and you got to check her out. Who else do I want to plug here? A lot of people. There's this one other guy, Paul Harrell, I think his name is. He's an old dude, does a lot of gun videos. He's really cool. Also, if you haven't, I know everybody probably has, Davey 504. Yeah, I love Davey 504. I subscribed to him a long time ago. He's awesome. Check he's also incredibly good. Like he's fantastic. Ridiculously talented. Yeah. You should do a video like of you, because you can do all that like slap and tap shit that I can't do. Yeah. Your style and my style is like day and night. I can't do it as well as he can. There's no way. Like that, nobody does it as well as he can. But I mean, you got that two-handed. Yeah. Well, you got that two-handed Chapman stick like shit going on. Yep. I mean, I own 2 Chapman sticks. I can't play a note on either of them. What I usually do is like run one end through like a digital delay and a bunch of distortion, and like the other side, because it has a stereo output, I run it through a bunch of other pedals, and I just sit there and kind of like get it in tune. Reciprocal, inverted reciprocal, whatever it's called, inverted fifths style or whatever, and I just sit there and I don't even like try and fret notes. I just kind of like get. So I kind of play it like a drum. You Les Claypool it, yeah. Yeah, it's something like, well, with the Chapman stick with all them effects on it, sounds great. If I don't do it with effects on it, it just like sound like fucking, I sound like Dane doesn't sound like anything. He sounds like he's just a bunch of clicks. Yeah. True. But you know, somebody once compared me to Les Claypool. I got a comment a long time ago. They're like, "You remind me of Les Claypool," and I go, "In what manner?" That we're both like weird white guys who smoked way too much weed. You know, because I can't play anywhere near as good as Les Claypool. I can't play anywhere near as good as you. You got to do a bass guitar video. Is what I want you to do, and put it up on. Yeah, well, no, put it up on this channel for the fans. For the fans, guys. If you're still watching this, she's a great bass player. I would love you to do a bass guitar video on this channel. I would love you to do that. And I think the viewers would love it. Anyway, this has been great. I'm so glad to talk to you tonight. I've been really lonely myself, you know, and the thing is when I get depressed and I get lonely, and that's why you don't hear from me, is because when I'm miserable, I don't want to make anyone else miserable, you know. But today, I mean, on Friday, I start getting worked up because like I start getting psyched because I know, you know, Saturday night, I mean, this is my big night. I get to talk to you, hang out with my honey bunny, talk to Ginger, you know, see the fans and all that. The other thing I want to ask you is there a reason why the live stream just doesn't go up once we're done streaming it?
It does go up. It does go up once we get done streaming it. It just takes hours for it to process. You have to process it into an MP4 video, so it takes hours to process.
Do you have to do it, or it should?
No, they do it. They do it. They do it. It does it itself.
Well, why when Liberty Doll is, as soon as she's done streaming, you know, as soon as she signs off, you can go back to the beginning and watch it again, like almost instantaneously. Why doesn't that work for us? You know, is there some conspiracy? You can make that happen?
I'll look into it. I'll see what's going on.
Okay. Look into that because you're the technical. I mean, this is your show basically. I'm just here to, you know. I mean, I own. Put it this way, I own the net. I know. I love you. I own the network, you know. But this is your show. And anyway, guys, thanks so much for being here. And baby, roll the outro.
Rolling it now.
Okay, babe. You know, I love you. I'll see you next week.
Let's see, share.